Yeah, I think it was still starting up, so I think I got a little ahead of myself.
Do you usually finish while you're still standing up?
Sometimes,
Yeah, those are good. Just knock it out quickly.
sometimes when you're thinking about all day, and you get there, and it's like, I'm done.
Yeah, at least you don't have to fuck around. The pants weren't even off.
Yeah,
But yeah, today the last couple of days have been brutal, man. Like and I don't know what it is. After 14 years of having this year has been really ramped up, and I think for quite a few reasons. One, like I don't have I'm in between careers, like so I don't really have that stability like I always have. Like the physical health has been like, absolutely debilitating,
Yeah.
and that just obviously does not help the mental health.
no.
But I have been so used to hiding it from everyone, where like if I feel like I'm a burden when I'm because when people like invite you to things,
Yeah,
they expect a particular cows to be there,
yeah,
and it's like if you're not really feeling up to it, like it's kind of like it's pretty obvious,
yeah,
and yeah, last couple of days have been real bad, and for something like this, I would just say nah, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling well. But considering what we're talking about, I thought maybe it might be good to be here when I'm not in that sort of happy-go-lucky mood. Like,
yeah,
it might unearth a few things that I wouldn't usually talk about.
yeah.
But
Well, what do you think about that? I will tell you that so for people listening, Cows came over, what night was it? Saturday. So today is Wednesday.
right,
So Cows came over Saturday, and like when we first started having a discussion of like, oh, do you want to come over? I had all intention of recording until an hour before you got here, and then I'm like, if I record today, I'm not gonna make it through the recording. Like I will shut it down because I'm not in that headspace.
right,
Do you know what I mean? And if I had the same thought as you, which is, no, that's wrong, you should push through. Because that's the communication barrier I had. Do you know what I mean? Because in the first episode, I talked about my issues are I bottle things up and I can't communicate well. And so what you're saying, what you just said, of we should talk through it, is really good because I, on that night, bottled it up. So that's really powerful that you say, like, even though you're not feeling it, you're going to do it. So I should have that night been like, let's just do it. Because that night you were happy cows.
yeah,
Do you know, like, you were feeling awesome. You'd had an awesome night the night before. Whereas I was having a real shit day. And so instead of doing something about it, I was just like, nah. And don't get me wrong, like I was so glad you came over that night because it's nice just to chill out. Do you know what I mean? Like I really enjoyed just
yeah. We watched
watching
Die Hard
Eddie
3.
Murphy and watching Die Hard and like chilling out together is awesome. But I knew if you were like, should we go record? I don't know what I would have done. I would have panicked probably
Yeah.
and just been like, okay, and then like said nothing the whole time.
Was that on Saturday night? I didn't even know that you were recording. I was just yarning.
We weren't recording, but if you had said, should we go record something? I would have been like, nah. Or I would have been like, sure, and then just said nothing the whole time.
Right.
That's why I was just like, oh, do you want to watch Die Hard or do you want to watch Eddie Murphy or whatever?
Yeah.
Because I was like, if we just do this instead, I'll feel better about life.
Yeah.
And I did. Afterwards, I felt really good. But, yeah. I know what you mean, though, Bo, when you say, like, people expect someone to turn up.
Yeah.
And when it's not that person,
It's very obvious.
yeah.
And then you get the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though it's coming from a good place, usually from people.
Yeah.
You don't want to tell everyone you don't want to. You see, I'm good at fobbing things off. Like one silver lining to having physical health issues is
Yeah.
that I can sort of fob it off as that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm just my usual cows stuff.
Yeah.
I've got migraines and the kidneys have been killing me lately and
Yeah.
all the immunodisorder stuff that I have. Like
Yeah.
I play it off for that.
Yeah.
It's actually an easier yarn than the mental health stuff.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Especially if you're in a social scene and like and people, oh, what's wrong with you? Like, are you all good? Like, it's like, yeah, I'm sweet. Like,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, now it's becoming obvious. And now you got to find a place. You got to dig deep to this place where you have to lift yourself up.
Yeah.
And I've had people in the past, like my daughter, like for someone who's only 15, like she's really onto it, stuff like that. So she'll notice when, say, we have visitors or whatnot, and I'm having a day like today where I just don't want to know.
Yeah.
I'll pick myself up for it. But by the time they leave, I'm physically just absolutely spent. And I'll just sort of crawl onto my bed, and my daughter will like sit next to me, and she's like, Dad, like, look what you do to yourself just to, make sure everyone around you's happy.
Yeah.
She goes, something's not right with that with me. But she was trying to articulate how she felt seeing her dad, who can barely really even move, no love for himself, let alone everyone else. And then as soon as people are around, it's like the switch goes off, and like the red light comes on, and you're sort of happy-go-lucky, and you're laughing away. But as soon as those people leave, it's just like the light comes, like the red light comes off, and you just power down. But you become so spent, so like drained.
Yeah.
And people don't see that part of it, and it takes you a while to recover from that. And then, say we'll go to a comedy gig or whatnot and like lift yourself up again. But then what people don't see is when you leave to go, like say you go home, as soon as like, see you guys later, walk inside, it's just like, oh, like it's like you've gone for like a massive gym session. Like you've not just mentally spent, physically spent.
I know what you mean, and I get a lot of like we do, like for those who listen, like we do gigs, and quite often a group of comedians will go out afterwards. Not so much to drink and stuff, but just go and eat, because often you don't eat before a show. So you go and eat, you like pick apart the show, you joke around, you make each other laugh and all that sort of thing. And I never really go to that. But there's two reasons. One is I'm a real homebody. Like, if I can be home, I will be home. I won't be anywhere else. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I had a choice of being like at home, or if someone's like, do you want to go watch the rugby? I would always be like, no, I'll stay home. I'm good. Do you know what I mean? So I always want to be home. And so, but the other side of that is exactly what you're saying, is like when I finish a gig, or often when I go to a gig, I have to turn it on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're at home. Like, if you ask my wife how many times before a gig, I'm like, I don't want to go, I don't want to do this, what am I doing? Why am I doing this?
How many times did he deep sigh?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to go, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, just go, just go do it, you'll have fun when you get there. And so I go to a gig, and then as soon as I'm done, I'm like, I desperately want to leave. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to be there anymore. Because I don't want to expel that fake energy of being the happy comedian. Do you know what I mean? So when I'm like you, when I get off stage, man, I'm done. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I just want to come home and sit on the couch and say nothing for an hour. Yeah, and it's really hard, and people don't get that.
People don't see that.
Well, no, they don't. Especially the audience.
Don't let them see that.
Yeah.
And it's not just the audience; it's us as a group. So the audience like leaves, and it's just us. I still keep that going, and sometimes it's genuine.
Yeah, totally.
But there's sometimes where it's not, and I'm like, and then Morgan's like, should we go to Macca's?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Get that in me. And then I get there, I'm like, oh man, everyone's all laughing and happy, and you just got to play that part. But it does take a massive toll on you, and I've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
Years and years, and it sucks. Like you feel bad, like a bad friend in a way, because you haven't actually told people around you how bad it is. They just see the cows that they all know.
Yeah.
They don't see the other side of it, and I sort of just play it by ear, like how I feel on the day. And I've just noticed this year has been so brutal, like weeks at a time. Yeah. Weeks at a time, where people won't hear from me for like a week. Yeah. Like my phone will go off and I just don't want to look at it. Like, I just don't want to know. So so I had that today, and then when you were messaging me today, I was just like, you know what? Considering what we're talking about. Yeah. But even now, I'm sort of pumping the brakes on, because I don't want to go too deep on
you talk about whatever you want. That's the thing. That's the whole point of this, is that if you don't want to go deep, that's fine. If you do, that's fine. It's whatever you want it to be. It's whatever we want it to be. Because I'm the same. Like, I will go so far and then... Well, you already know. Like, I already have my issues breaking that barrier.
Yeah.
Do you know
I
what I
don't
mean?
have
Like,
that.
and that's my problem.
Yeah.
And that's why I do this. Is I do this so I can get better of getting to that limit where I'd normally stop and trying to keep going.
Yeah.
But I did it. I actually broke through it this week, and I messaged my wife how I was feeling.
Is that a breakthrough for you? Is that not
Yeah.
the norm?
Yeah, because normally if I'm feeling like really down, I would normally say, like, text her and say, like, I miss you. And that's all I would say. Do you know what I mean? Which is genuine. I do miss her, but, like, that's all I would normally say.
Or do you fob it off as it's something else is to blame? Like, oh, work's a grind today.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing I do. Yeah, I will say, like, oh, I've had such a hard day, or today really sucks, whatever. But I actually text her exactly how I feel. It was that day I reached out to you as well, and to Morgan. And I was like...
My phone ended up on the floor.
Did it?
Yeah, I don't remember, like, I only saw that, like, a lot later on.
Yeah.
When I saw it, I was just like, oh.
Well, you came back pretty quick, though.
Yeah, and then after that, it was gone.
Yeah.
The phone.
Yeah, so, like, I was feeling just, like, so fucking low. And so, yeah, I messaged Jen. I told her, like, I actually used proper words. Do you know what I mean? Like, proper, like, this is how I feel. And she was really good. She was like, you can do it, you know, like, you got lunch in an hour and a half and I'll be there. Do you know what I mean? So she's like, she made a point to come and see me and all that sort of thing. And then I went and hung out with Morgan and his team who he works with.
Yeah.
And I'll often, like, quite often at work, I'll just go bomb around their desk because I'm bored.
Yeah.
But that day I just sort of bombed around.
There was a purpose.
Yeah, I just needed someone to make me laugh.
Yeah.
And so, like, they both, Morgan and his colleague, and my colleague, did that. And then I was like, all right, I feel a bit better about life. Enough where I can just go back to my desk. And I think part of the problem is I get it a lot at work because I sit alone. Like, I have no one, especially now. Like, the only person who, I have a guy sits next to me, but he's maybe there once a week, on average. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes he's there more, but most of the time it's once a week. And then across from me is a guy, but he only works 20 hours a week, mostly at home. And then next to him was my mate Arno, but he's left. Do you know what I mean? And so, like, sometimes right at the far end of it's a row of desks, there'll be someone, but I don't really know who that is. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not someone I work with or associate with, so... So I literally sit alone, and that's where I find, like, you go into your own head. Do you know what I mean? And that's where so that day, I can't remember what day it was. Monday? Tuesday? I can't remember. I was ready to leave work. Like, and just never come back. And the problem wasn't work. The problem was me. So I had to be like, you have to stay here. Do you know what I mean? And as you said, like, you put yourself through it, and you go through the motions and stuff like that. And so in the end, I think I put on YouTube and just listened to music. And that was my way through. It was like, just, like, and after every song, I was like, you're 20 minutes closer to lunch. You know what I mean? Or like, now you're 10 minutes closer. And now you're...
That's exactly what I mean by sometimes you live minute by minute.
Yeah.
It's
And it was.
minute by minute.
Yeah.
And it can change like the wind.
Yeah.
It can change while you're out, like you left home feeling great, and then something... I can't exactly tell you what the triggers are.
Yeah, no.
But it was just, you just start to plummet. Like,
yeah.
So even the ride here, like, 'cause my brother, like, dropped me off.
Yeah.
And we got halfway across town before a word was said in the car.
Yeah.
But the good thing about opening up lately.
Yeah.
Especially that, you know, 3 weeks ago, that when I just sort of was like, I don't think I'm going to make it to the morning.
Yeah.
That's how bad it, was. Like, so he knows how bad it is now sometimes. And he just simply said, you're not having a good day.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, is there anything I can do? I was like, yeah, this is not the right answer, but this is what came out of my mouth. I was like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And he good credit to him, like, he doesn't really have much of a backbone for a guy who's 6'6", and he just simply said, why not?
Yeah.
Because I've told him that I'm like, you need to push more, like,
yeah,
because I'll just shut off.
Yeah.
And he's like, why not? And I said, because I feel like I'm going to get emotional in the
Yeah.
car, and if I start getting emotional, I'll probably slap you for seeing me emotional. So I had that coming here.
Yeah.
And then I was just sort of going in my head, like, what are we going to talk about? And then I'm like, why am I even thinking about that? It'll just come out the way it's meant to.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just feel like, so like I'm in between careers, right?
Yeah.
And
Totally.
I changed careers at started 2019. I'm in corporate sales for nearly a decade.
Yeah.
And I left that to be a freelance writer. But then a lot of life, a lot of things in my personal life changed. So my physical health just plummeted.
Yeah.
I had to move my daughter and I in with mum because after dad died, we wanted to sell the house.
Yeah.
So that changed, and having that social interaction with my normal job, that all changed in 1 month.
Yeah.
And it just sort of plummeted from there. It got worse from there.
Yeah.
And now I'm in the throes of another career change, and I had to make a decision this week whether I go like enroll to study next year,
Oh, cool.
and I decided not to,
Oh, okay.
which sucks in a way, but
Yeah.
I'm not mentally there yet.
Yeah.
Like I need to find a way. Like for me, I want to sort of dig back into the medication side again, because
Yeah.
the last time I went through, it was a good 3.5 years of trial and error.
Yeah.
Nothing worked,
Yeah.
and I need something because I'm definitely in the worst place I've ever been in terms of this battle.
Yeah.
I'm not standing on my own 2 feet, so to speak. It's all a facade.
Yeah.
What everyone sees. No one, I have. If people sort of heard that I've like suffered from all this, they would just be like, "You?"
Yeah.
Because I put on such a good act
Yeah.
and hide it so fucking well.
Yeah.
But I can't. I'm getting tired, dude. Like I'm losing that. I'm just getting worn out. Like, and this year's really showing that. Like I'm just weeks at a time out.
Yeah.
You get emotional. You get really down on yourself.
Yeah.
To the point you hate yourself.
Yeah.
When I shouldn't, because there's so much that I have going for me, but I just can't seem to overcome it. Especially last 6 months.
Yeah.
So like I need to do something, because I don't see me sitting here. This time next year.
Yeah.
I just don't see. Dude, I'm so tired. I'm done. Like, not done as in like I'll give up. Like done as in like I can't do this suffering anymore.
Yeah.
It's really taking its toll on me. And I need to find a way. So that's why, like, even making the time to come here, not like I have heaps on at the moment, but making the effort.
It feels like you're making the time, though.
Yeah.
I know what you mean by when you say that, like, you're not making time because you have time, but, like...
It's more the energy and the effort.
Yeah.
Like, because today was one where I just didn't leave my room today.
Yeah.
I just did not leave my room. I didn't eat.
Yeah.
Didn't want to eat. Like, didn't want to talk. And I just sort of like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, nothing. And then you'll sit there and kind of like in silence, just sitting on, and like say, I'll be outside having like a cigarette or sitting on my bed, and an hour and a half will go past.
Yeah.
And you're like, just thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't do this anymore. So I need to find a way. So that's my goal over the next 6 months. I know this is never going to go away, but to live with it. I've lived with it in the past, like decently, like pretty easily at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get back to that because this is getting a bit too much now.
Yeah. Can I give you my honest opinions? I don't think you need to get back to living with it. I think you need to find a new path of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you go back to the conversation we had just before, like just 10 minutes ago, of like, when you go to a show and you put on a facade, that's living with it. Do you know what I mean?
But it does,
and I don't think that's healthy.
There's a certain part of it that just feels so fake.
Yeah. And I'm not just talking about for you, I'm talking about for me as well. Like, there's got to be a better solution than living with it. There's got to be a better solution than of turning it around. Do you know what I mean? Like, using turning that negative energy into something, which sounds harder than... It sounds really hard. Like, even when I say, I'm like...
I preach it so often.
Yeah.
and I've given so much good advice. I've helped quite a few people.
Yeah.
You know, not secret. I don't tell anyone who I talk to and help. But the amount of people who I've helped,
Yeah.
and I say stuff like that, like you only get a certain amount of energy in a day.
Yeah.
Why am I expending it on stuff I can't control? Like, I should be putting that energy towards stuff that makes me happy or can control.
Yeah.
And people latch onto that, and then they take off.
Yeah.
With my advice, and I'm still sitting here stuck in the mud. Like, why can't I do what I, practice what I preach? Because
Yeah.
like you said, that is so much harder than what it sounds.
It is, yeah.
It's like so I don't know, like, but this whole putting on this facade, like, it's tiring, dude. I can't do it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just burnt out.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the next step for a guy that's meant to know so much about this topic. When it comes to me, it's just I'm a bit lost.
Yeah.
A bit lost at the moment.
But what is it they say? Like, isn't there? I don't know the saying. I'm not very good with words. What's the saying about a builder? A good builder never finishes building their home because they're so busy working on other people's homes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like, and that's probably the case. Is that you've helped so many people.
Yeah, it's one of the things that my downfall is. I just can't fully just outward with my energy. Like,
I mean, you're doing it now. Like, literally right now, you're sitting here doing exactly that. You're helping other people by, like, sitting and talking to me and getting me to talk, but also recording it for other people. Like, literally, you're doing it right now. But you don't realise it because that's the guy you are.
That's all I know. It's just by...
Yeah.
It's only when someone sort of stops me. I've had it one other time, and it was just like a fleeting relation. It wasn't a relationship, it was just like a friend. Let's call her a friend. And that was that 29... Oh, no, it was last year. It was around after lockdown.
Yeah.
And she noticed it. Like, we hadn't talked about anything about mental health or anything like that, but she saw that when everyone would leave, and she'll see me just absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
And she's like, you need to stop spending so much energy on everyone else, because everyone leaves here so happy in this bubble because you keep everyone so entertained and laughing and just being cows, so to speak.
Yeah.
But what they don't see is, look at you right now, like, you're just exhausted. I'm like, this is the norm.
Yeah.
She's like, the norm is not healthy for you. And that's always stuck with me.
Yeah.
But when you get your 50-year-old daughter, like, saying the same thing. Like, cousin Tash came over, last week?
Oh, yeah.
And it was the same sort of day where I'm just like, ugh, what day is it? Who gives a fuck? What day is it? Who cares?
Yeah.
And then she popped round randomly, my cousin, and immediately, like, it was like all laughs, like all laughing. So it was my cousin, my mum, my daughter, and myself.
Yeah.
And I found myself like the one that was making everyone laugh, and yada yada. But then as soon as she left, my daughter was trying to find me, and I was lying on my bed.
Yeah.
I was just exhausted.
Yeah.
And she's like, Dad, you did it again.
Yeah.
I'm like, did what, baby? What are you talking about? And she's like, where you feel the need to make everyone around you happy, but look at the price you pay.
Yeah.
So people around me are noticing it. I don't know any different, but it is killing me.
Yeah. Yeah. So now I guess the energy needs to be
more selfish.
More. Yeah. I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's just channeled differently.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. I don't think you keep saying being selfish. I don't think it is being selfish. I think it's, you just need to, I don't know the word reevaluate, but sort of, I don't know, maybe just find something new.
What's the definition of insanity, right? Like doing the same thing over and
over
again.
Yeah, exactly. And so maybe it needs to be something different, like a new whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe that's what comedy was for a little while.
Yeah.
Like it was a new channel for you to like plug that energy into and like...
Until it became noticeable that something was wrong.
Yeah.
People
because
around me were noticing
you were good real fast. Do you know what I mean? Like most people aren't as good as you were.
Just comfortable. It feels comfortable.
Feels good, yeah. And it is, and it doesn't have to not be that. It just, I find with comedy, I have a love-hate relationship with it. Part of the hate is leaving the house, but part of that hate is also, like, I've been doing it for so long.
Right.
It doesn't thrill me anymore.
Right.
Like, I don't get nervous before I go on stage anymore. I just go on stage.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like the last time I got a little bit nervous was Like I emceed Ben Hurley, but that was because Ben Hurley was there. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't the gig, it wasn't the audience, and it was a big audience. Do you know what I mean? It was the fact that there's like a big name there, and it's not that I was trying to impress him, but I did. It's not that I'm trying to impress him or I was trying to like win points with him, because I couldn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like Ben Hurley, nice guy, like totally awesome guy, like a lot of comedians are, but I couldn't give a fuck if he walked away and went, don't go to Palmy or go to Palmy or whatever. Like he can forget my name tomorrow and I would never care because I don't give a fuck. But with comedy, I found I lost the want. Do you know what I mean? Like I lost that drive of like, I want to go do it. I want to go do it. Other people didn't help, ruining it for me.
Yeah.
But I channel that energy into different arts. Do you know what I mean? Like now I do different arts, and that gets me excited.
Yeah.
Like that makes me like, oh my god, this is so cool.
Right.
So maybe it just needs to be something else. Like I'm not saying it has to be an artistic or creative thing, but yeah, just into another channel of like, this makes me happy and excited, and gets me out of bed even if I'm feeling at my worst. It still makes me go. Because maybe that's what it is.
That's the scary part for me lately, is I just don't really have. I feel like I don't have anything to. Nothing excites me anymore.
Yeah.
That's the scary part. Like and then that whole like what day is it, what time is it, and then immediately after I think that I'm like, who cares? Like I don't care what time or day it is. Like what am I gonna do? What is there to look forward to? I don't really like and it's not to do with the fact that I'm sick of doing stand-up comedy or anything.
Yeah.
Or whatnot. It's just that fire's gone.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
You know, you're just sort of getting through your days.
Yeah.
You know, of doing fuck all really, but if every day's exhausting because your mind is just like 100 miles an hour, like thinking of any conceivable thought.
Yeah.
Over and over again, and next thing you know, I haven't slept for 2 days.
Yeah.
And it's tiring.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, I've got this like the open mic night on Thursday night. I got to go to that, and then it'll be like Tuesday, and I'm thinking, shit, like how am I gonna, hopefully things turn around and Wednesday, and then it gets to Thursday afternoon, and I'm just like, oh fuck, like.
Because I know what you mean, because you get to Thursday and you're like, why didn't it turn around?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, because I sat here not thinking about anything else.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, like I've got to dig deep and say like Morgan will come pick me up.
Yeah.
And as soon as like I walk outside, it's like the red light comes on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I go real DiCaprio on it. I just like, hey.
Yeah. You stay in character.
Yeah, I sort of go in character, like go in gimmick mode.
Yeah.
I get to the gig, and then again people expect a certain cowl, so then I can't just sit there quietly.
Yeah.
Because then people will know that that's not the usual me.
Yeah.
And I know this going into that gig.
Yeah.
And I've really got to pick it up, and then we go for a feed afterwards.
Yeah.
And then by the time I get home,
yeah,
I'm done till Saturday.
Yeah.
So I know this. Hopefully, recording our conversations will it'll be a journey to find that fire.
Yeah.
There's no Mexican options in Palmy.
I want to try Dos Locos.
Oh, Dos Locos Tacos.
Yeah,
I've
heard they're good.
They have the best Chipotle.
Yeah,
I can tell you that. It's good. Yeah, it's no Mexicali fresh in Auckland, but
it's not bad.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to, speaking of Mexican places? Sorry to go off topic. Did you ever go to Newmarket, and there was a food court where the movie theatre is?
I went there. No, I only went there once, but not memorable enough. But what? Because if I'm that close to the city, I might as well go to the city.
Yeah. Well, I used to work in Newmarket. That's the only reason I know.
Vodafone?
Telecom. So we used to go there, and we used to get this eggplant, like chili con carne. So no meat, just eggplant. And eggplant was in massive steaks. Do you know what I mean? Like the rounds, but cut thick as. And they were like swimming in like this oil sauce. Do you know what I mean? Like with a layer of oil on it. Oh man. What were we talking about? Facades.
I feel like I'm a facade. And
Yeah.
it sucks saying that, but I just the amount of people like who I've known for like 20 plus years, and
Yeah.
they don't know.
Yeah.
They actually do not know, and they wouldn't see it coming.
Yeah.
That's how good it's been at hiding it. But like, it's just this year is really just like, wow, I can't. You can't be like locked away in the house forever. And you gotta like, but I find that like I'm far less social than what I used to be
Yeah.
because I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Like sometimes I'll get to where we're going, like a social event. Let's say it starts at 7, and you're already looking at the clock, like, oh my god, how long? Like I find being the only smoker in the comedy hub was actually a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I'll be the only one smoking outside. So if we're at the Globe Theatre, I'd be outside, and no one's around, and it was sort of like a holiday, like
Yeah.
it's like okay, I've got a reprieve for like half an hour. That would help.
I find
Smoking helped.
Smoking helps.
Smoking helped. It was good for my health.
Yeah. Doctors. 9 out of 10 doctors recommend Camels. Camel cigarettes.
Camel. Wow, that's going back.
When cancer doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
I find I pick and choose. Okay, so we have a lot of parties. I wouldn't say we have a lot. We have maybe 3 a year.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 a year, yeah. Those are Jen's doings. Even though it's all my friends.
Yeah, she organised the Christmas one.
She organises it all. So she will go, Dylan, it's time to do this. And I'll go, ugh.
Yeah.
And normally she has a bit of an uphill battle. And bless her heart, she never gives up because she knows I'll give in. And so eventually I'm like, okay. And so we'll invite all people and that's fine. Apart from those occasions, I'm really choosy who I invite to my house. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't like to socialise with a lot of people. And I don't like... If I'm going to expel that energy we talked about, I want it to be worth expelling on. There's certain people who I feel are worth expelling on.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're one of them. Nathan and Emily are definitely one of them. Like, they're good with saying nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Well, so you don't.
We don't have to fill the blanks.
Yeah. Okay. I'm more like. Right. Are you sort of saying it's good company because you don't have to confront the bad, the hard hitting stuff? Is that what you're trying to say?
It's just like the conversation is easy. It flows naturally between all 4 of us because I include Jen in that. So Nathan, Emily, Jen, and I. Like the conversation's very like you and I. It's natural. We don't have to try with each other. No. Whereas a lot of people will come over and if there's silence, they'll try and fill the blanks.
Oh, yeah. And
okay. With Nathan and Emily, if there's 5 minutes of silence, we just sit in silence. We don't have to fill that blank. You know what I mean? Because we're all on the same wavelengths that sometimes you just got nothing to fucking say. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whereas Morgan, to an extent, do you know what I mean? But he doesn't come over very much. And I'm not going to stop him, ever. Do you know what I mean? But I just don't. I'm not one to reach out to be like, oh, come over. Again, you and Nathan are probably the only exceptions of that. Oh, and Kieran, who's not a comedian. He's just my mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can sit there for an hour and not say anything. And then we'll be like, do you remember when Bret Hart, blah, blah, blah? Do you know what I mean? And then it'll kick off. So, yeah. I don't know where I was going with this. I've forgotten. Bret Hart stole my mind.
Who you choose to spend your energy on?
To spend my energy on. Yes, I find lately, this year especially, I'm real picky. If I'm going to break that facade, I'm going to break it with certain people. Even now, Jen wants to have a Christmas one, and I'm like, I'm going to have to go through the motions of acceptance. Do you know what I mean? Which sounds stupid. Like, you want to fight yourself over having fun with your friends.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I knew you would, but for those listening who don't understand, it's like you have to go through this battle of... It's also like I go through this big thing of like I have great fears of being rejected, and so I have to go through this battle of will people turn up?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they always do. but I always fear like one person will show up. And it almost, not almost happened, but like one time we had to get together and I think we said like 6. And then like at 6:30, like one guy was here, Adam, who's such a cool dude. And everyone else was just running late. Do you know what I mean? And I was...
The anxiety starting to ramp up.
You should have seen me like drinking. I was just like pounding these drinks because I was so worried about like I keep telling myself like no one is coming. Everyone's either forgotten or doesn't want to be here. And then I'm like, Adam's just gonna get up and leave. Do you know what I mean? And that will be that. And then it's like, oh. And then thankfully like Morgan showed up and then other people slowly like trickled in. But it was like a good half an hour of like
hell.
Internal hell. Yeah, internal hell. And you're looking at the carving knife on the table and you're going like,
wow.
I wonder if that shirt washes out. I hope Adam's shirt is fucking, colour fuss.
I like it how like your outlet was not to do damage to yourself. Your thing was like, I want to stab this motherfucker.
No, it was damage to myself. I was worried the blood would spray on him. I'm looking at his shirt going like, if I get my blood on him, how upset is he going to be? That's a nice shirt.
I mean, like, you're stabbing yourself, but my new polo.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, come on.
Oh, come on.
I just washed it.
Just breath.
Yeah. It's suede.
They
come
took
on.
the Honda sign.
Yeah. So I go through that, and then every time Jen's like, let's have people over, I go through that exact feeling again. Like, what if nobody comes? Like, what if nobody shows up? Like, I know if nothing else, like Morgan, Tommy, and Justin will show up. Not even Justin. Like, I know Morgan will show up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, if nothing else, there'll be that. But then it's like, how much do I really want just Morgan to show up when I invited 30 people and one comes?
And you're half a bottle down.
Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, you go through it, like, eventually I accept the fact that, no, people will come. And then, people always do. So I don't know why I feel that way. But I can't stop. Like, I can't turn that off when it's time.
So you're saying the underlying trigger fear is the fear of rejection?
Well, for that. Yeah, for that. Like, whenever you go to something like that, I always worry no one's going to turn up. Whenever I go to a show, I'm worried no one's going to be there.
But does it transfer onto, like, are you worried that people aren't going to be entertained when you're on stage? Do you worry so much that far? No.
I never worry about that. I used to.
Yeah?
Now, this is why I think I'm going off comedies, because I don't worry anymore.
Yeah.
And not having that worry is part of the issue.
Yeah.
Like, when I was nervous to go on, when I was nervous about material, then I would be that excited energy.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, no matter what, I've got enough material, people are going to laugh. Do you know what I mean? So, it's like I got to do a gig on Saturday. It's 30 minutes. And it's like, I just don't want to fucking do it, eh? It's a Christmas party. And I'm just like, oh, this is all the things I don't like. It's like the Rongotia... Oh, I shouldn't say who it is. Cut that. It's like a... It's a community group that's very prominent in this country.
Okay, yeah.
Like, they do a lot of charitable work and fundraising and all that sort of thing. Like, most parks are built by them.
That really, you might as well just said it. That whittled it right down.
Yeah. Yeah. They lose one of 3 organisations.
Yeah.
And it's the one that does all the fireworks and Rongotia every year.
You nailed it down to one. No.
Yeah.
Saying it without saying it.
So I'm doing a gig for them on Saturday, which will be interesting because I'm like, what sort of audiences? And they're like 30 to 80. And I'm just like, ugh.
Of that crowd, so I'm guessing you're not going to do the...
I'm not going to do the pornography bit.
Yeah, no, the hemorrhoid bit.
No, the prolapse anus.
Yeah.
No, that's not coming up.
No, I didn't think so.
No, I'll do fairly clean material.
You kind of have to, yeah.
I want to do fairly generic stuff, but it's like, even then I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that comedy, but it's paying for my gas to go on holiday. I'm like, and I desperately need that holiday, man. I got to get away.
Yeah. Sounds like you need a break.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to see my dad. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to go see my grandparents. But most of all, I just want to, like, go to the beach and, like, stand in the water and just, like... Do you ever just go to the beach and just, like, it just takes away all your issues until you walk back on the sand and then they all come fucking...
Yeah.
Flooding back, like the sand between your toes, all gritty and...
Yeah, and there's just sand everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like glitter. Have you noticed that?
I've noticed glitter, yeah.
Years later, I'm just like, there's still glitter on the carpet.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you're in high school now. Like,
Yeah.
You did that finger painting when you were 4.
Yeah. Glitter, man. Gets in your dick hole.
Yeah, and you just ejaculate. It's like a Skittles, like, yeah. Taste the rainbow.
Wouldn't it be amazing if your cum was glitter?
I don't know if it would be, I mean...
It would be so pretty.
I mean, yeah, but she already chokes as it is, but a ticker tape down her throat? I don't know.
But imagine if they're going into town and they're like, oh, I really want to look all sparkly. Could you come on my face?
Yes, this is like... It would take...
Okay.
Bukkake videos would be prettier.
Yeah, oh,
They'd be far more watchable.
amazing.
Like, given, I'd probably still skip to the end, the money shot scene, because the rest of it's just a whole lot of dick.
And they'll turn on extra lights so it sparkles.
Yeah.
And it has to go... It comes out. What do you want, baby? I love my titties. Okay.
Oh, they're so pretty. Thank God, because they weren't pretty before.
You gonna wash that off?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go into town.
Yeah. That's it. My jacket is like fairy lights all over your face.
And then when you went to like Spotlight to buy glitter, it just says jizz. It's just jizz in a bottle.
Oh, mate. Well, hopefully,
That's fucking so gross.
whoever's been, whoever follows this, like,
Yeah.
kind of like, so we're both. So for me, like, I've been there, done that, but it's good. So I've got that. It's kind of like if we go back to using comedy as an example,
Yeah.
like where I'll be nervous all day,
Yeah.
like I say, I've like gig at the Globe or whatnot, and it just keeps ramping up to the point where you're side of the stage and you're being announced,
Yeah.
but then I know, after doing it for a while, you know that once you like sort of walk out there and the crowd applause hits you,
Yeah.
that just completely goes away. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't have that when I first started. It's just like, when will this nightmare end?
Yeah.
I left a perfectly good career for this shit. Can I leave? This is
Yeah.
stupid. What am I doing? With this whole depression thing, like, I know from experience how bad I'm in right now. So, and I'm at a place now where I need, to be honest, I'm just at kind of that crisis point now.
Yeah.
But I know that.
Yeah.
But it's finding like, it's kind of like I'm in quicksand and I'm up to my chest right now. And now it's like kind of like I'm starting to get freaked out a bit, and I need to find a way out of this.
Yeah.
Whereas for you haven't even sort of dipped your toes in that quicksand puddle yet. Like, you're sort of trying to figure out how to articulate how you feel, because you've never been able to do that.
Yeah, like I've been in the quicksand plenty of times, like up to my nose, and like I've gone through the stage where I write letters to my daughters, like, I'm sorry, I'm doing this.
I see, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so I've been at that stage a few times.
Yeah.
And like you, I've always just gone like that last minute, nah.
That last, yeah. There's
all
a
that,
backup
like,
generator that sort of helps you just sort of like, nah, I can't
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah, and sometimes it's really small things. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's the most minute thing where you're like,
who's going to take my daughter to school in the morning?
yeah,
something really silly, like...
yeah. Or it's like, I'll give an example. Like last night I was watching Netflix. And it was like after midnight. And I know you don't sleep, but with me, all I want to do is sleep.
I'm the same, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have issues with that, so I know that. But like, it was after midnight, and I was like, I have to go to work in the morning, so at 7:30 my alarm's going to go off. And Jim was like, you need to go to sleep. And I was like, I know, but I want to see what's in... So the show I was watching, they had this thing about Box 16. And so I was like, I need to know what's in box 16. And so that kept me up. Just a dumb metaphor for the little things that pull you through.
Right.
It's just things like that, like, but I need to know what happens in this.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And that's usually what gets me there is like, I've had occasions where I'm like, oh, I don't think this is going to last. And then I'm like, oh, but Simpsons is on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just little things like that. Stupid things where it's like, yeah.
Or like, was it 3 weeks ago where when I, usually no matter how bad it is, you just sort of know, nah, it's surely not. There's been times where I sort of, it's like, and that's why I hate the whole suicide is selfish thing, to wrap this whole yarn up. Like, the whole suicide is selfish yarn, it really, it annoys me because a lot of the time it's not the person that's steering, that's behind the wheel. Like, because I've had times where at the place of, let's say I'm under like a beam in the garage sort of thing, and I've got the strap with me and I'm crying, but I don't remember the last 35 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got here. All I know is I'm standing on like a chair, and then I sort of look around me and think, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I had those moments. Like, I've gotten that close, and that's scary because it's like, if I hadn't snapped out of, I have those thoughts where, what if I didn't snap out of that, horrible, like, whatever blackout moment, what would happen? So 3 weeks ago when I went outside, so one of my things, I like being, like, at night, I'll have my headphones on, have a cigarette, and I'll just chill outside, you know, especially on a, like, clear sky. Like, and that night I was going to go into the garage, and I remember just standing there, and I looked at the garage, and I just said out loud, borderline morbidly, I said, if I go in there, I'm not going to walk out of there.
Yeah.
And then just sort of shrugged it off like, oh, well, I shouldn't go in there then. I'll go sit on the doorstep.
And that's that little thing, eh? That's what I'm talking about. Like, there's that little voice that just says...
But my thing was, like, who's going to find... Like, my daughter's going to see me in the morning. Yeah. And that gave me chills. Yeah, yeah. And that's what... that was. So that's not a minor thing. That was a big thing. But that was when I immediately reached out for... I was like, man, like, that was a close call tonight. Yeah. But how many more of these before there's one... When it was one night where I don't make it through. So that was my crisis point where I just sort of reached out. Yeah. I'm like, it's now or never. 14 years later, it's now or never. Yeah. Because, like, telling your own mum, like, I don't think I'm going to be around when you get home from work. Yeah. That's pretty crazy to say. Yeah. But it was just, that's where and it shouldn't have gotten to this point. I was stubbornly trying to fight this for so many years. Yeah. Quietly alone. When it shouldn't have been like this. Yeah. But that's just how we were brought up. Like, you fight it yourself, and I find it's got to change. So even just being here talking to you about it is a monumental step for me. Yeah. But it has to be done, or I won't be here in a year. And it's just I just know I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm exhausted, dude. Yeah. So we got to find a new you, not we. But I'll help you individually. Yeah. Like, find our own. But we've got to find a way out of this, because even just admitting it, I haven't admitted that out loud too many times. Yeah. But I just don't. I don't see me seeing next Christmas if I just carry on the way I'm going. Yeah. So something's got to give.
What about, like, starting a group, like a support group?
I don't know, as soon as you say support group, I think of Fight Club.
No, don't start that. Because I'll end up being fucking meatloaf.
Who got the biggest man titties I know? You don't win that race, by the way, so there's other people I know where... Can I cry into your...
Moose tits?
Meatloaf? But I don't know. I think this is cool for now. Like, even just, it's a start. Yeah. It's a big start.
I think you'll find your thing. I just think you need to try things. Yeah. Like, I did photography, and I just discovered that. And it was something I always wanted to do, and then I just sort of got into it. Like, ass deep. Knuckle deep into it.
Which knuckle?
A bit of one. All of them. And that's kind of been like, it's I said it in my text to Jen the other day, like, the reason I was so down at work was becoming very destructive.
Right.
Like, and I was like, I'm sick of being here and being destructive when I could be at home and being creative. Like, I want to create stuff to put in the world. I don't want to destroy things. Do you know what I mean? And I know that's very hippie-ish, or karma-ish, or whatever, but it's just...
why I left my career, like...
You're sick of destroying.
I was just sick of, like... It's not just a 9 to 5, it's just, like, the countless hours and stress and all that energy that I'm not spending on my daughter and my friends and myself.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And even though it was an 80k salary, like, the money doesn't mean anything when you want to, like, hang yourself from that Hilton balcony. Like, every second week I was there and I hated it. Same sort of feel, like, something had to stop.
Yeah.
So
and that's it. We need to find something new, something exciting, and something that gets you out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, gives you a reason to go, like,
giving a shit
tomorrow's going to be great because I'm doing this.
Yeah, looking forward to something. Give me a shit about something. That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Do you know what I mean?
Well, what did we talk about today? We talked about how we just expend our energy so much on things that we don't need to. So perhaps, you know, don't be that guy and run the tank to the ground. It reminds me of that Seinfeld episode. It was season 9 and it was Putty. It was at that car. He was a car salesman.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, Coco, that chim's all right. High five.
yeah.
And then and Kramer was test driving a car.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we got to, like, run it to as far as you can.
Yeah.
Without it putting out. So, you know, don't let the gas light come on. Don't let the light come on.
Yeah.
Maybe fill it when it's quarter tank.
So before you jump, get some gas.
Before you jump, get some gas.
Put that energy somewhere good.
Yeah.
You have to be quiet. Do it again. Right,
With a smile on your voice. And before you jump, get some fucking gas.